This is Mia Paulus and the Business and Life Made Simple podcast. Today on episode 0, we're going to be talking about so many things of how to simplify your business and your life. So I believe that fear is such a big thing that is holding so many of us back. And so many of us are after the freedom lifestyle, time freedom, the lifestyle entrepreneur, whatever buzzword you want to call it. Like, we all want to know how to have that simplicity and that joy in our life. And the world is becoming so complex that I think we need to get back to the basics of the simplicity of life. And it doesn't mean minimalist. It doesn't mean easy either, but it does mean that I believe we can have a much simpler life than we have now. So today in this episode, I get really raw and real with you guys to talk about some of the things that I've struggled with and some of the things that I'm passionate about, to really show you why I'm wanting to do this podcast and why I've really felt called to do this podcast for quite a while. So I'm really excited to get started and to jump right in and to start doing so many episodes that I feel like I have a lot to share with you on. So with that being said, let's get to the music and then we'll get right into the podcast.
No, it doesn't have to be so hard. 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 Business and life made simple.
Hello, my friends. I can't believe I am doing this. So this is my first episode for my podcast. I've only been talking about it for probably 3 years, maybe 5 years. Who knows how long it's been. So it's so cool to finally be doing this. So you'll have to give me some grace. I promise I'll keep getting better. I do meetings all the time and I do video stuff all the time. And I don't know why I'm feeling a little bit speechless as I'm starting to start this podcast. So I'm also going all in, and I am also recording video. So I use Zoom all the time for business, and so it just feels like home putting on a video recording. So I figured I will look like I'm talking to all of you, and I hope you feel like that as I give my message and as I interview other entrepreneurs and their life experiences. So I'm really excited to finally be doing this and hopefully give you guys all some inspiration and some great strategies and tactics to really simplify your business and your life. I think anymore we can't separate the two. So many of us are lifestyle entrepreneurs or aspire to be. We aspire to have more freedom in our life, and analyzing and just looking at your personal life is so important in the midst of all of the business stuff that you are working on. So hopefully, if you don't have a business, I can inspire you to want to start one and not have you be so fearful on doing that. So we'll get to my introduction here in a minute. But ultimately, my goal is to really have us all have a little more faith and a little less fear in life. I really think fear is the biggest thing that debilitates us. You know, recently I've started my personal brand and all this online presence stuff that is a whole new degree for me, and I'm learning all the ins and outs and what does it take to do a podcast. And so I'm definitely out of my comfort zone. But I realized once you just start, you can just keep building upon that, and it just gets easier and easier, or as I like to say, simpler and simpler, because life is hard. We need to accept that, but it doesn't have to be as hard as we all make it. So recently I heard somebody talk about how courage only takes 5 or 6 seconds. So often, so many of us will not do something because we're fearful of what's going to happen, or we don't have the courage to do something. But if we just do it in just 5 to 6 seconds, just go. And then what happens is your adrenaline kicks in, or the spirit, as I like to call it, kicks in. There's so many different elements that just are rooting for you to get you to the next level. And so I just want to encourage you all, if there's something that's keeping you from whatever, starting a business, getting yourself out of the business, delegating the work in your business to somebody else, finding the right people to help you in your business, finding the right tools and software, whatever it is. I just want to give you the courage to start. And I hope by listening to this podcast, you will get the same courage, and together we can journey and become better versions of ourselves, because I know we all have so much more that we could be doing, and we can become so much better people than we are. And so I really believe in community and really believe in helping each other out. And so I'm just really excited to hear from all of you, and whether in comments on the podcast, whether through my social, whether through interviews I do. I'm just really excited to get to know the ins and outs of what's in your mind, all of your minds, and what fear is holding you back, and what's keeping you from having that freedom lifestyle, creating more time in your business. So often we have that mindset of, oh, I don't have enough time in the day, and we're always looking at the negative instead of creating solutions to really create that time, and really focusing on what gives us energy. What is it that we feel called to do? What is it that we should be doing? And so with that introduction, I'd like to just give you a little background on myself. So my name is Mia Paulus, and I have spent, approaching 15 years, but about 13 years, just looking for solutions to help business owners just make life simple. Really, what started it for me was working at a CPA firm and meeting with so many business owners during tax season, and they all had this same look in their eyes, this exhaustion, and just not knowing what the next step was, or just feeling worn out, not knowing if they could do it anymore. Like, there's got to be a better way. And so this was back in 2006. So I was a little forward thinking. A lot of people had to catch up with the mindset of not doing all the things themselves, of technology had to kind of catch up itself. The smartphone had to come out. But back then I had this idea to find ways to help business owners virtually. So with my background being accounting, I first thought about virtual bookkeeping, and then I thought, oh, well, a lot of times the front desk people will be doing the bookkeeping. So what if we actually answer their phones? And so I actually created a telephone answering service as well, thinking that I was very novel and unique in the idea, not really understanding the whole call center world back then. But I've always approached what I do with what feels best for the business owner, not what everybody else is doing. And so I hope to encourage you to do the same thing as I talk to you in these podcasts. Get you to listen to your own inner voice and your own inner workings to figure out what's best for you. There's so many experts out there that are going to tell you the best way to do it. And I'm not here to do that. I'm going to share with you my experiences and what I feel has worked, and share with you some things that I believe are truths that we all can learn from. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for ourselves and our own journey and becoming the best version of ourselves. So you know yourself better than anybody. And I want us to all start thinking about making decisions for ourselves and not relying so much on other people to make those decisions for you. So if you're coming here thinking I'm going to give you all of the answers and every single thing you're going to do, that is not my goal. My goal is to inspire you to create your own journey and to make that happen. So back in 2006, I was like, okay, I made the leap. I left my job not knowing if I could pay for my house that I had just built. And I leaped, or kind of started on faith, not knowing if I would be able to make a living and provide for my family. And it was my first leap I've had to do, not knowing if there was something there to catch me. And I have done that so many times after. And I can honestly say that I really feel like I don't fear a lot. I mean, I have things that pop in my mind, but I quickly figure out how to push those away and to just go forward, to move forward. And so I've really learned to have a lot of faith. And if I know something's the right thing for me to do, I do it. And so here I am doing this podcast. And so hopefully I can deliver the message that I was intended to deliver for you. So I started my business, 2006. So went through all of the hurdles that I hope none of you have gone through, or hopefully I can give you knowledge to where you don't have to go through it. I've fired full teams before. I've stood in empty 4,000 square foot offices not knowing what the next step was. Um, I've cried in the shower saying I can't do this anymore because it's so hard. I can probably say there's been 100 times when I didn't know where my next payroll was going to come. So there's just been so many things that I've had to learn and to experience. And I hope that I can be really real and authentic with all of you and share those experiences. It's such a crazy, complex world. And I just think we need to learn how to navigate that and how to simplify our lives, simplify our business, find joy in the midst of all this, how to connect with people through communities. I've dedicated my life to this and to figure out how to create that freedom and that lifestyle business. I've gone through being virtual, thinking I needed a big office and lots of employees, which I do have lots of employees, but that's ultimately just so that you don't have to, is why I'm doing that. But as far as working virtually, I love it. And we're back to being a 100% virtual company. My team of 60 plus growing employees is all over the US, and I love it. I'm also a mother of 7 kids. So I've really had to learn how to be imperfect, that I am going to drop balls, that I am going to fall short many times. And for me, I love it though. I love the struggle, and I love just always trying to find the balance and what works for me in my life at that moment. What's worked for me in my life a year ago, what I'm doing now is different than what worked for me a year ago. And so I just really believe that we need to start listening to our inner voice a little more and really just learn and discern what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So I'm here to help navigate, not to tell you what to do. So I am going to journey with you on this road to finding happiness and joy and simplifying a life and ultimately create that freedom lifestyle that we're all craving and wanting in a very complex world that we're all trying to navigate. So in this podcast, we're going to do all kinds of things. I want to deep dive with entrepreneurs and just get real with them and just learn what the inner workings and what their pain points really are. So just so we can all learn together. I am not the end all be all. I don't know everything. So for me to bring other people in and us learn from each other, that is everything I could ever dream of. I am not here to tell you I know everything, but I feel like I've learned a lot and I can help direct you to finding what's right for yourself in your life. And I want to see the spark in all of you guys again. So if you've lost it, if you lost your passion, if you've lost what is important in your life, it's my goal to really help you get to that next level. So as I like to say, I want to get you whistling again in your life and give you a little more hope. So in this podcast, we are going to be bringing simple back. So simple does not mean easy. So let's just get that straight. It is going to take hard work, but it's so much more worth it in the end. And I know you will have so much more joy by doing what you feel called to do, doing what your purpose is in life, and really listening to yourself and really making sure the things you're doing in your life is based on the energy of what gives you energy in life and doesn't really drain you and suck every ounce of energy from you. I'm sure we all have moments or people that have given us that feeling. So I truly have become a lifestyle entrepreneur. I love it. I can work wherever I want as long as there's an internet connection. My team just last week fired me, and they want me to be now a client of the company so that I can keep expanding my solutions to help entrepreneurs create that freedom lifestyle that they want. I'm very much a visionary and have a lot of different ideas to keep improving the lifestyle that we all are after. I just think there is a much simpler way to accomplish what we're doing. So with that being said, please stay tuned for future episodes that will be interviews with other entrepreneurs. I'll be also doing episodes where I just am talking about a topic. There'll be spouse segments where we actually talk to other partners or significant others or better halves, whatever you want to call those great people in our lives, to really see the experience that they're doing, because we all know that it affects people, your business, and whether it's successful or not, the reach that it affects is much more than just what you're going through. So we'll also be so we're also going to talk about how to improve your business, how to create that work-life balance for all of you guys. Do some strategic planning. I'm a very strategic person, so I love to look at businesses and see what problems that you guys have. Like, what's the one thing that you feel like is keeping you from going to the next level, or what's your biggest pain point? Sometimes it's little things like, we can't get our timesheets right, and we spend way too much time trying to get the routing of the timesheets done. Like, sometimes it's little things like that that just can be quick wins and free you up to think about the next thing that you need to be getting off your plate and not do. So we want to start having you think of not to-do lists, not just what's on your to-do list. So anyways, I am just really excited to see what I can learn from all of you, and hopefully you can learn from me. So that being said, please follow me on all the socials. It's at Miss Mia Paulus. And then also, if you could like, subscribe, and comment on my podcast, I would love it. Just to get this out to the world. I really believe that people are ready for what I have to share. And I'm excited to show you how to create that lifestyle business for yourself and create, if you're interested, a 100% virtual company. I think we've got it pretty dialed in. So that being said, plug in, stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
No, it doesn't have to be so hard. 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 Business and life made simple.